YouTube, welcome back to my channel and welcome to A Closer Book. Hard to believe, but we're up to books 25 to 27. That means that I'm about a quarter of the way into my 2017 reading challenge. So I should be more excited about this video, except that today I'm going to be talking about some of the books that I didn't really like. I hope you'll stick around because even though I didn't love these books, I'm going to tell you why I didn't love these books. And after I talk about two books that did not wow me in the least, I'm actually going to talk about a book that I really did enjoy. So I hope you will stick around for that. Book number 25 is Best Friends Forever by Kimberla, Lawson, Roby. I chose this book because I was doing a readathon. I think it was Read-A-Rama readathon. And in order to read as many books as possible, you want to choose books that are pretty small. So I went to the library and I found this book, which is a novella written by a pretty popular author. Kimberla Lawson Roby is an African-American writer. And this is her picture right here, and she's won several awards. They say she's award-winning and New York Times best-selling author of the Reverend Curtis Black series, as well as several other novels and novellas. I'd never read any of her writing before, and I said, you know, I'm going to give this a try. The book was anticlimactic, to say the least. The story is about a couple, Keith and Celine, and they are having some marital discord. Celine has found out that she has a medical issue that she's going to be dealing with, and just at about the time that she needs her husband's support, he decides that he wants out of the relationship. The friend in the story is her friend Lauren, who has been her best friend for many years. The way I would imagine is that it's either a play on the book where her friend is going to betray her, or someone who she thought was maybe betraying her is going to be proven that they were best friends. I didn't quite get the title of the story, so I gave this a pretty low rating. I gave this a 2-star because I didn't get the point of the story. Most of the novella was leading up to this thing that I thought was going to happen, and then in the last like 5 or so pages, like everything got resolved in a kind of rush. Like it felt like she had decided that she was going to write a novel and she was laying the groundwork for a novel. And then someone said, you know, we can't really produce this as a novel. We have to turn this into a novella. And so everything that you were doing, you have to stop doing it and resolve it right now. When I checked this one out from the library, I'd taken another one of her novellas out as well. I since returned it because I don't feel like I'm going to continue reading from this author unless someone tells me different. So that was book 25. Book number 26 is The Testament of Mary by Colm, Toibin. I chose this book because it's on the short list for the Man Booker Prize in 2013. I've told you several times, I don't want to tell you again, but I am reading the shortlisted books for the Man Booker Prize, and I started with 2013, so this was one of the choices. It is a small book. I don't know if this even qualifies as a book, because I thought the Man Booker Prize was awarded to novels, but this short testament is only 81 pages, and it is from the perspective of Mary, the mother of Jesus. She finds herself being part of this elaborate lie, and she wants to tell her side of the story, that the things that people have said about Jesus, they aren't true. Just saying that makes my eyes twitch. She's refuting the idea that he turned the water into the wine because she remembers seeing him and his friends pull the jars into the room, and she wasn't sure what was in the jars in the beginning. She talks about the instance of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead, and when Lazarus comes back to life, he screams and he's just hanging on, and it's not like he's alive, but like he's a zombie. Oh my goodness. If you're a Christian and you believe in the Bible, which I am and I do, this is a very hard book to read. Not because it is so illogical that you could have an alternate perspective on something. The foundation of Christianity, the foundation of every religion, is that you believe. So I understand if you don't believe, but even if this was just fiction, and it is quite possible, it's quite okay to take a story, a real story, and fictionalize it and make it good, make it readable. But the story didn't have any of the characteristics that I look for. Mary as a character is cold, she's unfriendly, she doesn't have any friends, not even her son does she have a good relationship with. In fact, throughout the book, The only positive thing that she's able to say is that she remembers when her son was a child and her husband was still alive, because at this point Joseph is dead, and she's remembering how they would spend Sabbaths in kind of like near silence and quiet, and she remembers being pleasant. So her favorite memory is of silence. Mary as a character, as an older woman, reflecting on her life, reflecting on her son, the son that she says is love, the son that gives her her fame, the son that assures her a lifetime of being taken care of, because in the time that she is, Mary's a widow. If her son is dead, there's no one to take care of her. When he dies, his disciples, or his friends as she calls them, the people that she can't trust, that who take care of her, she feels like they're holding her hostage or they're holding her prisoner. But why aren't you grateful for what they're doing? Because if it's not for them, then you will become a beggar woman, because the society that she is in would not recognize her if her son and her husband are both dead, her son being killed as a criminal or whatever. So I didn't like this book. I didn't like anything about this book. The best part about this book was the size, that it was only 81 pages. So I read it in an afternoon, and I gave this 2 stars because I can't remember what I even gave it 2 stars for, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Can I say this one more time? I didn't like this book, but if you have read it, or if you've read any other Colm Toibin's books, because I don't get why, I don't get why this book was nominated for the prize. I don't get it. To be a shortlisted book, I thought that, I don't know. If you know, please let me know. But that reading experience was totally saved by another small book, which is Nevermind, 20 Poems and a Story by Taha Muhammad Ali. The description in the front flap of this book, and I really like these little flaps, it says Taha Muhammad Ali is one of the leading poets on the contemporary Palestinian literary scene. Born in 1931 in the Galilee village of Safuria, he fled to Lebanon together with most of the inhabitants of his village during the Arab-Israeli War of 1948. I really enjoyed this book, and I put a couple of post-its in here where there were poems that just really moved me and I wanted to share with you. I'm going to read one of them. It's called Fooling the Killers. Kasim, I wonder now where you are. I haven't forgotten you after all these years, long as the graveyard wall is long. I always ask the grass of the field about you and the dirt paths. Are you alive with your poise, your cane and memories? Did you marry? Do you have a tent of your own? And children, did you make it to Mecca? Or did they kill you at the foot of the hill of tin? Or maybe you never grew up, Kasim, and managed to hide behind your mere 10 years. And you're still the same old Kasim, the boy who runs around and laughs and jumps over fences, who likes green almonds and searches for birds' nests. But even if they did it, Kasim, if shamelessly they killed you, I'm certain you fooled your killers, just as you managed to fool the years. For they never discovered your body at the edge of the road, and didn't find it where the rivers spill, or on the shelves at the morgue, and not on the way to Mecca, and not beneath the rubble. As no one saw you concealing your corpse, so no one will ever set eyes on you, and no earthly breeze encounter a bone of your body, a finger of your hand, or even a single shoe that might fit you. Kasim, you fooled them. I always envied you, Kasim, your skill at hiding in the games of hide and seek we played barefoot at dusk 40 years ago when we were little boys. I just love the memory that this poem evokes. I love the imagery that, this old man, he is remembering his childhood friend and wondering what happened to him, and finding something pleasant in whatever direction this Kasim's story went. So if he died, he's okay, because look, in his death, he managed to escape whatever they might have done to his remains. If he was alive, he imagines him having a family, having children, having found joy and happiness. And I just love the imagery that this book just evoked. And I got this from the library, but I would love to have a copy just so I could reread it. The poems are pretty short. The book itself is really short, and I love it. So this short book made up for these 2 short books, and it totally saved this episode off. a closer book. Thanks for watching. Please join me next time as I go through 3 of my most recent reads. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll talk later. Until then, happy reading. All 3 of these books came from the library, so now that I have shared them with you, I can return them and get my checkouts down to a manageable number.